kindly confirm that I can start. So that I can proceed. It's taking a lot of time. Okay, please confirm in the WhatsApp that I can proceed to start so that we could start. Please confirm that we can start. Oops, I have not gone live on YouTube. Sorry for that. Okay, we are live. Hello, hello. Okay, let me check my audio set. Hello, 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 hello. Check 1, 2. Can we proceed? Can we proceed? So, I will just begin now in the next 60 seconds. This gave us time. Apologies for all these issues with the network. So, okay, fantastic. Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pastor. Yesterday my name is Stevie Cooper, and I have been having a couple of discussions with my good brother here on improving your wing mix. Yesterday we were live with the direct physical console, and today we are making it a whole lot easier with the Wing PC Edit. Basically, this is the software that also runs the Wing. For instance, if you're in church and you have to control the console from the stage or from any part of the hall, you don't need to be near the physical console. This is the software, this is the app that enables you to control the software, all the features. This is basically the mixer on your laptop or on your phone. For the phone, I really don't know how detailed it is, but fundamentally, Wings was able to, create the mixer in a virtual format or in a soft format. So once you connect this app, or rather your laptop, through a router, okay, a Wi-Fi network, through a router, HP link or something, and then you connect it to the mixer. At the front of the mixer, there are some internet USB Cat5 ports. Rather, you can connect it. Once the mixer sees it, all right, it gives you, you're going to come to this section on the page and you'll see the mixer connected Wi-Fi. You could choose to pick from the mixer to the PC or from the PC to the mixer. That means if you have the settings already on the PC and you want to load it to the mixer, for instance, like tomorrow now, you want to load the settings to the mixer. If you're connected through a Wi-Fi device, all you need to do is to change here, load the system, connect the system, and all the information on this, on all the settings, all the information via the USB will have gone straight to the mixer, and the mixer will take instructions from this software. But if you want to maintain what you have on the mixer on the laptop and control it from any angle or any corner of your hall, you can do that. So this is the mixer in a soft format. Now, basically, yesterday we covered a whole lot, and after the training, I felt okay, there was too much to take in. So I'll break it down, but we're going to look specifically tonight. We're going to look specifically at your settings for tomorrow. All right. You have 16 channel on your stage box, 16 inputs, and then 8 outputs. All right. Now, the first 16 inputs are this is your drums, your bass, your lead guitar, your sax, your keyboard, and then your vocals, your 6 vocals, the lead voice, and then pastor handheld. All right. Now we're going to do the routing for the inputs, the labeling for the inputs, and I'll explain to you what these equalization features mean, what kind of compressor, why did I use it within a limited time frame. Okay, so let's start. We'll start first with the routing. Okay, so like I said yesterday, on the wing, if you want to route from your stage box to the console, all you need to do is to first of all come into the routing page here, all right, and then move to the middle section here at the top corner here where you see the arrow right, okay, with the circle in front of it. It's called source, all right, source. What this means is, where am I taking my input from? That's what you're asking. Where do I want to take my inputs from, and how do I want to label it? So if you want to label the stage box channel so that whenever you come, you don't have to start relabeling, you can come here. Now, the first thing we'll do is to label our channel. How you do that? Come into routing, come into source, and then move to source group here. Source group here will give you the options to pick. Once I click on this arrow down, you have a drop box with a couple of items there. Now, if you're taking your signal, let's say from the surface where you guys took it from originally, you're going to select local in. Now, the local in is basically the inputs that are on the surface of the front of the console. All right. You can decide to take signal from, plug a microphone or a playback. Maybe your media guys want to play back video. All they need to do is to get a XLR if they are not using a sound card, if they are using a jack TRS 1/4 I showed you yesterday. All they need to do is to change from local in to aux in. All right. Aux in will allow them to plug jacks into the aux inputs. Now, the aux input is at the middle right side of the front of the console. All right. You have 16 of them, those small jack ports. All right. The ones down, please take note, the jack ports that are lower are for outputs, aux out. They have 8 of them. The ones that are on top are for inputs, aux in. They are for inputs. They are aux in. So you want to take note of that. Then you have below those jacks, those 16 jacks, you have 8 XLRs like this. You have 8 XLR like that looks like this. All right. Those are for outputs as well. Those are you can route them to anything near the console. For instance, you want to send through a sound card or a audio interface to the broadcast. You want to send to some speakers, delay speakers or extension speakers, or you want to just send to other devices through the Canon or the microphone type of cable. You can assign them through aux out, local out. You can see them here, local out. These are the XLRs, and these are the aux out. All right, these are how they. Now, by default, your last 2 jacks ports on the surface, 7 and 8, is for headphone, and you can use that for your studio monitors. My brother was telling me about difficulty getting the monitors to function the way he wants them to. So it's easy. What you need to do here, we'll start up with that, is to come to routing here and then output. Okay, from output we go to aux out, your output group. All right, and then you select this. Once you select this, another drop box, your source group will come up. All right, now it says subgroup bus. You are not sending or receiving from the bus. You want to receive from the monitors. All right, you want the headphones to be able to get its source from the monitor session. So all you need to do is to come down here where you see the monitor, select it, and you then select left and right. All right, so you now have your monitors active. Okay, then because once you activate your monitors, you're going to hear them. Now there's a problem when you want to solo on the monitors. By default, in this section, all right, when you come to your setup, you go to setup to arrange or to control that. You get to the setup page here and then come to general on the console, from setup to general. Then look to meter settings. Below the meter settings, you would see your pre or post fader for soloing. All right, this is where you change your solo. Sorry, not general. I'm mixing it. This is for meters. You move to audio section. So from routing from setup to audio. All right, and then you move to solo system here. Leave this live in its place. All you need to do is change your main bus to after fade listen, and your solo channel to pre-fade listen. What this means is that once you hit the solo button on the channel, you are going to hear that channel, all right, without the faders on. Even if you mute the channel, if the channel is muted below, you're still going to hear the audio going into your headphone directly. All right, that means, what this also means is that everything before the fader, before you raise the fader, all right, you're going to hear. But if you want to hear the after effects, that means when you raise the fader, how loud is it? How does it sound after fader is being raised in the house? You can go to AFL, after fade listen. That's what it means. So basically, I wouldn't advise you do everything after fade. You can leave your matrix, your main solo, your bus solo as after fade, but your channel should be pre-fade listen. So you're able to monitor what you're doing before sending it out. All right. Once you are done with that, we're going to leave it like this, and then we just move step back. Okay. Now our monitor is ready to function. So let's come back now to our input channels, or rather our outputs first. Like I said, when you come to home, the first blocks here with the fader symbol means your console. Where is your console getting its signal from? All right, so this is your source good. It's either for local in, but in this, for tomorrow, you are not using any of the local in. All right, all your stops will be connected except for pastor line. Everything will be connected directly from the stage box on the stage. The backup mics, all the other mics except pastor lapel mic. But if you want to do that, then we can take from the stage box. So once you do that, depending on where you plug your stage box on the console, you have AES-A, AES-B, and AES-C. That's AES-50 on the surface of the console. Please take note, you do not plug into AES-50B on the console and route to AES-50A. It will not work. All right, if you plug your signal, your Cat5 or Cat6 cable that goes to the audio digital snake on the stage, if you plug it into A on the console, you make sure in your routing you come to AES50A. All right. So we've selected A, and then let's cancel all this. All right, and then relabel them. Okay, so let's cancel this, and then go back to what we need to do. All right. So we're just going to cancel everything. Yesterday I told you about the auto. All right, that enables you, instead of doing it manually, I can do it just like that, just like that. Okay, now if you take a look at the left side of the console, you realize that some of the channels, although they are deactivated, but their label is still there. The reason is because from our explanation yesterday, our source, all right, we came to the console, all right, and we were able to label our channels accordingly. Sorry. We came to our source, all right, and we labeled them accordingly. So this is what we are going to do today, and just label the channels so that they are already there on the stage box. Now this is your scene for tomorrow. The stage box, the channel 1 is the kick. That's how you label. You move to the next snare. The next, your high tom. The next, your mid tom. And the next, your low tom. All right. Then after the tom, we have our bass guitar. We have our lead guitar, or our sax, and we have our lead guitar. All right. Then we have our keyboard. All right. And then we have our voices. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we'll knock off the sax for today, because the sax is not available for tomorrow. So let's stick close to the channels you use for tomorrow. So that's keyboard, that's guitar and keyboard. Then we have BGV1, BGV2, BGV3, BGV, that means background vocals rather. BGV4, BGV5, BGV6. All right, and then the lead mic 7, voice. Then pastor is 8. All right. So your 16 channel on the stage box has been labeled. You could choose to color them. All you need to do is to come here, pick an icon on each of them. Like I said yesterday, I'm just doing a quick summary. Pick them, pick the color that I want. All right. Pick the color that I want and go to the snare and icon. So you just do all this. All right, so for tomorrow purpose, let's do it together. This is our high tom, it's green. Our mid tom, green. Our low tom, sorry, let's put the icon there. Our mid tom, our low tom. So these icons, or these symbols or logos, they are just there. The details on the console. All right, make it a whole lot easy for you. Bass guitar, lead guitar, keyboard. All right, then our backup vocals. Okay, so basically this is what it is on the stage box. All right, now you have stereo channels on the keyboard, I believe, and you might need a stereo definition on the keyboard. But if you don't, then this will work. But if you do, we will just shift these channels so that pastor instead and the lead mic could be on the surface of the console. Now, from there, we come to the main place, and then let's label. So all you need to do when you want to assign a channel to the stage box is that you come to the first block here, which is your channels. On the console, you'll see channels. Tomorrow when we go live, and during that, I will show you. I showed you yesterday, it's written channel on the console. So all you need to do is to select one here and tap this, tap 2, tap 3, tap 4, tap 5, tap bass, tap guitar, tap keyboard, and then backup vocals, just like that. All right, lead and pastor. So you have your 16 channel input channels on the console or positioned. Now, if we come to the channels here, you notice that there are EQ definitions, compressors, and all that set, because I did a virtual sound check, and with this you should have a fantastic mix. Now, for your bass guitar, because I saw your type of speakers that you use, I don't know how much of low-end energy pastor likes and the frequency response of that speaker, so I didn't insert anything on the bass channel. But if I were to insert, all you need to do is to come here and then select your on, insert, pre-insert on. Where you see none, just tap the none. Where you see the none sign, just tap the none, and then choose where you want to, what kind of effect. So for your bass, we are going to put on effect, post effect 4, we are going to select an effect, all right? And that is the Sacco bass. Now, what this does, it gives a lot of low-end energy to your bass. So let's configure it. Let's leave it at 29, and then intensity is a bit 0%. I know Pastor, where he comes from, they like a lot of bass and a lot of kick. I lived in Ghana once, so it's quite interesting. Very good sound they have in Ghana. And so basically, we just select. You can sweep the frequency. All right, as you're sweeping the frequency, you will notice that the bass tone will change. All right, if you want really low end, I usually leave it at 45, 46, between 45 and 48, so that the low end definition comes up and it's quite heavy. So you have to be a bit more. That was why I set the LA leveler, and I had a little bit above 56, rather. Let's take it at 60 or 70, so that the leveler is set to bring a peak reduction on the bass. Now, this processor, dynamic processor, compressor, going to work with the peaks, all right? So those things that pop up is going to help, keep it down, keep it under control, all right? That's for our bass, okay? So all we need to do when we get to the console tomorrow, we'll deal with that. For our guitar, you can see that our guitar is here, and let's check our guitar and our keyboard, and everything is already EQ and set. Now, another part to this setup is that I told you about subgrouping, okay? Because of tomorrow, we will leave it at the DCAs. The DCAs, like I explained yesterday, is a digital channel amplifier. It just gives you a singular fader control over multiple items. So let's assign our input channels to our DCAs. Now, how do we do that? Let's just say DCA 1. We want the kick and the snare. It's already assigned here. You can see that. DCA 1 is already assigned here already. How you assign it, I showed you yesterday. All you do is to come to your DCA, all right, mix view. Let's go back again. Let's come to the DCA here. Select the DCA you want. Double click on it if you're using the app. But if you're using the console, you keep your finger down on the DCA, and then go to the channel label, the layer of channel, what kind of channel you want to assign. Keep your finger on the DCA button down, and then tap the channels that you want to assign to those DCA. Or you can just hit the view button on the DCA section and this block will come up. All right. Once it comes up, just select the channel. In this case, we want the kick and the snare on DCA 1. All right. So we have it on DCA 1. On DCA 2, we want the toms, all the toms on DCA 2. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to add the kick, snare, and the bass on one DCA. So once the kick and the snare come up, the bass, because those three instruments must synchronize in terms of level balancing for you to have a very good African or musical kind of rhythm. So let's come to our bass and assign our bass guitar to our DCA. So once we raise the DCA, both the kick, snare, and the bass guitar will begin to come up. You can control it. You can keep their fader levels at different level, okay? All right? Or the inputs could be at different level, but the DCA will help you control it without having to come to your input channels and make life easy for you. Now, let's do the labeling for the DCA. To label on the app, the software makes it seriously easy. I just right-click with my mouse, and then I type here drum kick, snare, bass, you understand? So kick, snare, how you call it, bass, DCA. That's one. The second one, I'm going to assign all the toms. So I say drums or toms, depending on how you want to label it. For tomorrow, you will use toms, all right? We'll use the toms. So let's pick our color. And then no icon, just color, so it's bold enough. Now, DCA 3, we will add our keyboard or lead guitar. So let's say keys and guitar, GTRS. Okay, shortened form. And let's pick a shade of blue for that. So DCA 4, all right, we are going to reassign that. We'll remove guitar from 3 and bass from 3, guitar from 4 and bass from 3. And on 3, we will say guitars and keys, all right? So we come to our keyboard and assign the lead guitar and keyboard. You can see it assigned here already. So that has been covered by the DCA. Now, everything we are doing here, once I send you this setup, this file, this snap, and you put it on the flash and load it on your console will change to the exact configuration we have here, and you will have a fantastic service. So having done 3 and 4, let's disable it from here, unassign it, unassign all the vocals. I gave it name because I didn't know the names of your people. You understand? I just you can rename them as you please. So let's keep it. So for 4 now, 4 will be our vocals, all our backup vocals. All right, that's for DCA 4 will be our backup vocals. DCA 5 will be our lead singer. All right, I want to put the lead separate so that you can have. And DCA 6 will be for pastor. All right, pastor will be on DCA 6. So you have it there. There you go. Now let's label it. Right click and say vocals. All right, and then after vocals, we select the color. Keyboard, we select a different color. Vocals, then we have the lead voice, vox. I call it vox. On sound, in sound we call it vox. And then lead vox will take this color. And then pastor, which is 6, will take we'll just say pastors. All right, so whenever your mics increase and your channel increase, you know that all the DCA for pastors will be on DCA 6. So what this means is, tomorrow, once you raise DCA 6, all right, pastor level will increase automatically in the house only. In the house only, that's where it will increase. If you increase the lead voice, how much of the lead voice you want, pastor, the lead voice will increase in the house. So this is how we'll do it, like this, and we'll bring our drum down, our instruments, our toms a bit up. So where I'm leaving, I don't know your room size, but I'm just setting it based on how I know it'll work. So if you find out that the keyboard is too loud, all you need to do, just come to the DCA, drop the keyboard. Is that okay? Then one more part, we are going to add another DCA. This time we are going to add our effects channel. Yeah, you want to have some bit of effect on your system. So we come to DCA 7, right click and say FX. All right, FX, let's look for FX icon if there's any. And then we just, you just drop it there. Okay, we can say effects. All right, so once you raise this DCA, all right, we are going to assign the auxiliary returns. That's what you're going to assign to the DCA, not the buses that the effects are labeled on, but the auxiliary return. Let's pick a color. Let's say red, so you know that it's nothing to just play around with, except it's giving you the results you want. Not too much of effect, because I'm going to monitor your service tomorrow, and I'm going to be interfacing. Although I have a busy morning tomorrow, but I will take time out to listen. Please send me the link for your live streaming, and we'll be happy. Okay? So Pastor Mike should always be the loudest, and we are happy and good to go. You don't necessarily have to come this high. All right, you could even bring everything down, but please make sure on the DCA fader on your console, do not go below -10. Please, anything below -10 is noise. Do not go, you want your signal to noise level to be higher. All right, you don't want the noise to signal level to be higher. You want your signal to noise level to be higher. Do not go below -10 on your DCA line. Please take note for that. It's extremely important. All right, keep it slight. It could be it could be at 10, it could be at above 10, just don't go below 10. All right, so that you have a more robust and very fantastic sound. I can assure you your sound will be sweet tomorrow. All right, so for the lead, make sure the lead singer is above the instruments, and the backups, it should be above the instrument as well. You understand? But you could even bring, once the instrument is beginning to drown the singer, just bring the instruments DCAs down together unanimously, because you cannot leave the keyboard so high and bring the drum. You don't want your sound to be empty. So just have that together. Now, our effect on our DCA is DCA 7. How do we send our effect? You come to aux return. If you don't want to use this method because you're using the console, please let me show you. All you need to do is to select this DCA, because we know aux return is from, is after 33 to 40 is layer 3 or layer 4 on the console. On the console is layer 4. You see where you have A, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. From A1 and 2 has been set by default by the manufacturer for your playback, your USB recording playback, and your USB playback from your broadcast or from your laptop. If you connect the laptop to the USB port, you are going and play from the laptop, you're going to receive audio to the console from the laptop. So mind you, if you are using the same laptop you're using to stream to play out, you have to be careful. Once you play out, bring up this channel, you are going to have a loop back. So it's advisable you get a different laptop that you use for playback than the one you're using for streaming, because whatever you are sending from your broadcast channel, okay, say your mean, all right? Your mean, let's assume mean 4 is your broadcast channel or your metrics. Whatever you are sending, because the USB is connected to the mixer, it's bi-directional. You're going to get send and return. And by the time it starts receiving, it's going to return right back. You don't want this channel to be open when you are streaming and receiving audio. Take note. So I advise you play back your internal playback, your video playback, your montages from a different source. All right? Okay. So that's sorted. So now we have all our channels assigned to DCAs. We have them, our input channel routed to the stage box. Now let's go to our output. All right? Our outputs, you come to the routing page, outputs here. All right? This arrow right with the circle left, that's your output. And then before coming from source group where you're taking it from, you come to your output group. All right? And your output group is where you are sending it to. Output group, where you are sending it to. So if you notice, once you come here and select the stage box, which is connected to AESA, I must say that you will not see anything. So you might be, oh, what's happening here? No. Unlock the patching page and select your bus. Okay, now once you select, it will show you option again for your source where you're taking it from. All right, now our arrow down, we're not taking it from monitor. We come to our bus setting. All right, the first part, because I told you that I'm setting stereo setting for your bus so that pastor would hear all the panning, and anybody is on the stage will feel the full complements of the sound. So we are going to link it and control it by one bus. So output 1 on the stage box will go to the left on bus 1. Output 2 will go to the right on bus 1. What this means is this. Under the bus, when you come to buses, bus 1, this fader will control the 2 signals that you are going to plug into the 1 and 2 output on the stage box to send to the active monitor left and the separate one to the active monitor right, because you have 2 monitors on stage. So you're going to run 2 separate cables. One go to the speaker monitor on the left side of the stage, one go to the one on the right. I've already shared with you yesterday or some days ago how your monitor angle should be. All right, so once we are streaming tomorrow and I'm seeing your setup, I'm going to advise you accordingly. All right, so now you have one fader controlling 2 signal sources. What this means is, example, let's say you pan your input channel, your toms. All right, let's say you pan your toms. If you see my high tom is pan here, your mid tom is here, and your low tom, let's pan it a bit here. Okay, so you want them on the stage when they play the drums and they do all that panning, you can feel the complements of the panning on the stage as if you were listening to it on a headphone. All right, so that's the effect we want to achieve. For the main, the bass, we must leave it at center. The guitar, we can pan the guitar a bit left, and the keyboard stay right. You understand? Our snare can go a bit right, and our kick will stay in the center. Our bass stays in the center, and our vocals too, you could decide to slightly, because your stage is small, just for effect, you could just slightly pan the vocals here left, all right, center, and then right, just slightly. The same thing here, all right, a bit left, a bit right. This tenor, so tenor stays, move a bit, then alto stay in the center. Okay, pastor and lead mic stays in the center. All right, so what this, if you notice, as I was switching, this circle or this is changing. This is the width. What this means, when you touch on the console, how wide you want your signal to be. The narrower, the more mono it sounds. The wider, the more stereo. Now, the wider it is, the thinner it becomes. All right, so you don't want to make the voices so thin. You can leave it at just 100% on its weight, and it's fine and good. All right, so basically, that's where we are with all our signal, with all our buses. So let's go back to our output, our routing. We have assigned 1 and 2 now as pastor monitor. So let's see whether we can label that and have something to do. So we come to the bus section here, and we say bus 1. Bus 1 say stage mix, stage monitors. All right. Bus 2, you don't have anything on it because you're not using it. All right. So bus 1. Bus 2, you don't have a keyboard monitor, but we'll set bus 2 to be a keyboard monitor. All right. Or band monitor. Band monitors. So if you have a speaker, you can just put it there, and then all the instrumentalists can hear from that. But as I learned, your hall is not big. The instrumentalists feed from the house. But it's advisable that if you have additional monitors, just find something elevated to put it on that face the instrumentalists, and then this monitor supplies them, okay? Or it serves them. All right, so let's leave it at this color, okay? Let's put an icon. To put an icon, all you do, you select the name and icon on this home page, and then you come to the speaker section, and let's put a wedge. All right, if we come back, we can pick pastor monitor, a wedge as well. You understand? So you have that for your monitors. So now you have the 2. The next part there is your the routing of the house. All right, the main speaker, the FOH speaker. We know that we agree that the FOH will be your main left and right, which is 7 and 8, and anything in between. Okay, so 7, remember, routing page, output. You pick your output group ASA. Then your main is going to be, because your stage box is just, the output is just a channel. If it was the 32 by 16, then you will have your main on 15 and 16. There is no law that states that you must have your main on 15 and 16. You could have your main on 1 and 2 for, you know, it depends on what you want. You could have your main on 1 and 2, and it will help you the way you want it, the way you're comfortable. That's why I told you the other day, last week, that the board is like a whiteboard, a marker board. You draw and design it the way you want. But by industry best practice, we have our main at 15. Now, where are we taking our main from? We are taking it from the matrix, all right? So our main will come from matrix 1 and 2, all right? Matrix 1 will take 15, and matrix 1 left will take 15, matrix 1 right will take 16. That means when you come to the matrix section on the board, all right, matrix 1 will control the FOH left and right. All right, so let's put the FOH left and right to be speakers that are on a stand. All right, so let's use red, fire, red. So this is our FOH, our matrix. Now the work is not done yet. All right, now you guys have a fantastic matrix now for your FOH, okay? Your subs, I learned, is linked to the tops, or the tops is linked to the sub, right? So you are taking in one signal. But if you can check it tomorrow morning while we are online, if you have a second signal, I will just leave this for maybe extension or overflow. Sorry, the overflow is for 14, which will be matrix 2. All right, matrix 2, say extension or delay, you know, overflow. Just in case you have that, whenever you have that, you have overflow, and then we can put speaker there, and you have for overflow. Then if you have a separate subwoofer, I would say we move it. But there was a mistake here. Your stage box is not 16 outputs, it's 8. So let's move these settings to matrix 1, matrix 2, matrix 1, 7, and 8, and then this 6 to matrix 2. All right, and then remove this from there. We are not going to use 15 and 16. Sorry for that. It was my mistake. You can choose to add a color, all right, to your outputs. It's as simple as ABC. All you do, you come there and you label it and you're home and dry. Okay, so as we are now, we have matrix 1 and 2 outputs. Okay, outputs 1 and 2 on the stage box is now our, output 7 and 8 is our mean left and mean right. Okay, and that is what is on the matrix. Now, I made another mistake. I took the labeling of the mean 1 to mean matrix. So sorry for that. Let me make a quick correction. Matrix 1 is MX1. So this is our matrix. That's why the label didn't show up. Let me label it FOH. You remember matrix? FOH. So FOH left and right. FOH left / right. Okay. So we have it yellow. You see it there? It changed immediately. Okay. Excuse me. So let's find our speakers and put it there. We have our FOH. Now, the 6, output 6, again, which is our overflow, all right? All we need to do is come to the matrix and name it overflow, all right? And give it maybe red and say the icon speaker, all right? And then matrix 3 will now be our subwoofer, okay? Our subwoofer channel. So we say FOH sub. That means if you have a separate subwoofer or separate line for your subwoofer, you can just plug it into the output that will assign to the matrix, all right? That will be output 5, okay? We'll come to that, all right? So let's change this overflow to a different color instead. Overflow, let's change it to a different color. All right, let's change it to something different. Green. Okay, so you have your FOH left and right, you have your overflow, then you have the FOH sub. When we come to our routing page, we have the overflow, the FOH left, FOH right, and then output 5, you select the output and select where you're receiving it from, the sub. Now, there's a caveat here. Once you select these, because your overflow is a single speaker, it's not like the FOH, all right? It's not left and right, okay? You need to change the configuration on that matrix from stereo to mono. How do you do that? You come to the home page, go to the matrix for overflow, and scroll to just the input section, the matrix control section here, just under the home block, and then go down to mono. Change it to mono so that you have the full complements of your sound coming out. The same thing for the subwoofer, change it to mono, and you have the full complement for your sub, okay? So everything comes into your sub. Now, mind you, you know that your sub cannot take voices and all that. So we are going to EQ our sub. How do we do it? We come to the EQ section on the matrix for the sub and do our low band shelf to Butterworks, high band shelf to Butterworks 48 here. What that means is we're having a steep cut, all right, and take it up to, I don't know the frequency range for your sub, but let's leave it at 100 hertz, 100 hertz, all right. 100. Good. You can see the frequency here, 100 hertz. So what this means is once I activate it, this yellow section means I've cut off everything from 100 to 20 kilohertz. Nothing is going through the sub. The line here means from 100 hertz to 20 hertz is going through the sub. Please take note. And I believe you have active subs, so there's no need to start EQing anything there. Now, the compressor on your sub, I'm going to use the leveler to help limit your sub, okay? Once you hit this button up, it's limiting, put it on, and then I will just set the limiter to 50, all right? What this means is I want the limiter to control the energy going into the sub so that it doesn't overdrive the sub or burn the sub, all right, because of overload. So once I do this, you can be creative, all right? If you want your sub deeper, we can insert and do a post insert, all right? Here, the second insert is post. Put it on, and let's add the same thing we added here, all right? Circle bars. We want to go crazy with our sub, yeah? We select it and come here and say cycle bars. Now, we increase our intensity to minus 4.5, our gain, leave it at 12 o'clock, and then we leave our sub maybe 60 hertz, yeah? So what that means is we are adding a bit more energy on our sub. If you come to the width, you see that the width has changed on your metrics for sub to mono. So there's nothing you can do there, it's already mono. For the FOH, you see it's stereo. For the overflow, it's mono because we have changed it to mono. So everything is collapsed into one output and is going into that singular speaker. All right? So coming back to our sub, we have our sub. And let's try this tomorrow. I believe you will enjoy it and all that and all that. Now, these matrices have been created, okay? Obviously, you need to raise the volume. You would use your discretion for tomorrow. I would say don't start with 0 dB. Let's start with minus 5. Okay, for the FOH, you don't have overflow. If you have a sub, minus 4. Sorry for that. Minus 6 or minus, that's too much. Let's say minus 8. Yeah, the top should be higher than the sub, you know, so that you need to listen and get intelligibility on whatever your sound is. Now, with all these, now, the last thing that we need to do for the mean is to send signal to these matrices. And yesterday, I explained to you how to do them. What you need to do, you select the mean, because by default, all these input channels have been routed to the mean. This is what you're going to do for tomorrow. Tomorrow's setup, all right? We are going to place the vocals on mean 1, instruments mean 2, and then broadcast on mean 4. Sub on mean 3, all right? Broadcast mean 4. So this is what we'll do. Select our mean 1, and then come to the home page. Mean 1, you can see that there are channels that are, so we remove all of these from there. We don't need all of these on mean 1, all right, because you don't have the stage box for that. Mean 1 will take aux, yeah, the auxes. Mean 2, which is the instrument, will take only the instrument from 1 to 8, I believe. Yeah, from 1 to 8. And mean 1 will take only the vocals. That is from 9 to 16. Vocals and pastors. So what you're going to do on this mean, you see here, I'll label it as vocals. Let me put it in capital letter. Please be mindful. You are going to control the voice levels by this mean 1. All right, please take note. Voice level mean 1, and then mean 2 will be in the band. All right, that's instruments. All right, so let me just put maybe the drum setting to, you know, to at least give a symbol of the band. You can see mean 1 is vocals, the band is mean 2, all right? Mean 3 is your FOH sub, all right? Mean 3 is your FOH sub, you could choose to use mean 2 and just cut off those frequency, but let's not put pressure on it. Let's leave it. But if your system is connected, it gets one signal and then the speakers, the sub is split, automatically splits the low from the high. You don't need to connect, but I'll just set it. I will set it down so whenever you need to use it, use it. FOH subs. Okay? Let's put it red, and then the next one will be our broadcast, the main place, CAST. Our broadcast will be green. All right. Now our broadcast will take something, maybe a laptop. I don't know what you use to stream, but let's put a laptop. Okay. Let's put a laptop. Good. So now you see your broadcast is mean 4, and mean 1 is for vocal, mean 2 is for band, mean 3 is for yada yada yada. Okay. So broadcast is mean 4, or rather, we are not going to use the broadcast as mean 4. We are going to use the metrics as mean 4. Since we have our mean 1 and 2 as our control center, we're going to remove this broadcast, all right, and just disable mean 4 and then use metrics 4 as our broadcast. So metric, since we are dealing with the FOH and all that, we'll use metrics 4 as our broadcast. So we say broadcast or live stream, whatever name you want to give it. You can change it tomorrow, and whatever makes you happy, I'm good. So that's your broadcast metrics. Now, how am I going to assign signal to this? The voice, if you take a look here on the main 1, home, like I said yesterday, you come straight down under the view section here. You're going to assign main 1 to the metrics. All right. So you will increase you want your vocals and your band to come out from the house, right? And the overflow. So under main 1 is going to send to the FOH 0 dB, all right, and put it on. Metrics 1, FOH 0 dB, 0 dB, everything 0 dB. FOH sub, no, you are not sending vocals to FOH sub. Broadcast, that's metrics 4, right? So the vocals will go to metrics 4 at 0 dB. All right. Then the band, all right, the band will go to the same as minus 2 dB. Sorry. Minus 2 dB. What this means is that the instrument will go to everywhere 2 dB less than the vocals, all right? So no matter how you push it, except you drive your mean 2, which is your band mean, higher than your vocals, and you don't want that. The sub, we are not putting it there. We're going to send it separately, okay? But we could add that since we have already EQ'd it out. We have EQ out those elements because the FOH sub is mean 3. Matrix 3 is coming from mean 3. Remember that. So we don't have to send it from mean 2. So it's just the vocals and the band. All right. Then on the broadcast, the instrument, we can put the instrument as minus 4 dB. All right. Whereas on the vocals is 0 dB. Okay. So now how it's going to work tomorrow, all you're doing is push this up and then push the band here, somewhere here. Once you listen, your vocals will always be louder than your instrument. So your pastor is not worried about, you're not worried about Pastor Mike not sounding loud enough. Okay? So this is how it will work. Okay? Now, for the broadcast, we we have gotten it here and there. There's another part to it, okay? We could send pastor to a bus. I don't want to complicate things for your service tomorrow, but we are going to use main 4 for pastor line alone, because if we push pastor on main 1 and pastor might start feeding back in the house, but online he's very low, we don't want that. So we will say main, which is pastor, all right, pastor lapel, all right, and then we'll give it maybe a headset, or we can just give it something. So let's give it this color, and so what this is going to do is this: we are going to assign only part. You can see 16 pastor mic alone is assigned to main 4. So you should keep main 4 at 0 dB. Now, what this is going to do, main 4 is not sent to anything other than your broadcast. All right? So keep it at 0 dB and you're happy. Okay? So at every point in time, even if you decide to drop the house, okay, pastor line still sends enough signal to the broadcast. All right? I hope you got that. Now let's bring the broadcast. I'm going to leave the broadcast metrics to 0 dB. Please use your distraction. If your level is becoming too hot, please bring it down. All right? And I'm going to leave this to -6 for our overflow, our FOH, so you can increase based on your, again, discretion. So let's come to our FOH sub and then assign it to the FOH matrix. We'll just assign it to the FOH matrix and we can leave it at -4. All right. So how much of the sub you want, you can bring it up, okay, as you please. But this is the vocals, this is the instruments, band. So you are working with this and everything is set. All right. Good. If you have any question, please drop it on the YouTube page and then I will respond accordingly. All right. Okay. So now, where are we again? We are almost home and dry. Okay. So basically, this is where you are for your outputs. We've assigned, let me go over again. Our main 1 is sending our vocals. That's the singers, pastor, everybody vocals. Okay, you want to see it? You see, from 9 to 16. Pastor is also here. But this is going into the house. This is going into the overflow. This is going into the broadcast. Less the sub. The band is going into the house, is going into the overflow, is going into the broadcast by -2 dB. Whereas this is 0 dB, -2 dB. FOH sub main 3 is going into matrix 3, which is the FOH sub. All right. Now, pastor main 4, which is exclusive for pastor line only, is going in independently into the broadcast. So even if you drop this, you can still have to push up main 4. I'm not going to ask you to push up main 4 above 0 dB. What we'll do is just to put a compressor there, no stressor or distressor, all right, and you're happy and cool. All right, so let me just set it up, all right, and bring this down. I'll release, and then let's have 5 as our makeup gain. So what you're going to experience here is that online, this is pastor line will be loud enough for tomorrow. All right, good. Now let's do the math. Set a compressor on our vocal main. All right, let's set a compressor and open the compressor on our vocal main. Tomorrow we will do the rest. Our band, let's set a no stressor on our band. Okay, let's have it low attack, slow release, and not too high instruments. Our sub, we have already sent to the sub metrics already. You are just sending raw low end signal. All right. Now this sub is going to come from your kick. On your kick channel, what you're doing is to activate sub 3. Your kick, your flow tom, and your mid tom, a little bit of your mid tom. All right. All right. So you can see the toms, the mid tom. Let's put the toms at 0 dB. Everything on this, on the instrument band, will be 0 dB. All right. Then you can choose to drop them on from the DCA. So you're not coming here during service and bothering yourself. You're controlling them from the DCA. We're just doing the routing. The bass guitar could be also at 0 dB, but you control it again from the guitar. 0 dB. Don't exceed 0 dB. Our keyboard is already 0 dB. And what else? What else? The vocals is coming into 1, and we are not putting the vocals. We've already sent me 1 to the broadcast. All right, we sent me 1 to the broadcast so that the vocals can have their day. All right. So whatever, doing sound check tomorrow, we'll be able to get all that. All the vocals is cool. All right. So FOH sub. Sorry, Pastor cannot be on FOH sub. He cannot be on FOH sub. So basically, this is how it is, and we're cool. All right. So this is it on the vocal bus, min 1. So min 2. Once we get to min 2, and we decide to check our instruments, you see the drum on the min 2. The band bus, it should go up. The kick, sorry. The snare, 0 dB. The high tom. It will look confusing probably, but what I'm doing here is simple, okay? All I'm doing is separating instrument control, general instrument control, from voice instrument control, simply because of your broadcast. Okay, so what I'm doing is I set min 1, 2, 3, and 4. So whenever you come to the min 1, 2, you can decide to leave the vocals at 0 dB and then the instruments here. So once you're in the house, all you're doing is working with your DCA. All right, so that you don't get your broadcast to be messy. So once these things are set and you test them, they are set. This is where your control point, the DCA. That's all. Every other thing remains the same, okay? The only way you might go back to the main, probably if there's a lot of energy coming onto the main bus, you may need to reduce it a bit. You know, that's just all. The broadcast metrics, rather. You may need to reduce it a bit. That's all. So let's check for the guitars, the keyboard. Everything is there. Everything. All the vocals should be at the same level till tomorrow when we do sound check. All the vocals should be at 0 dB tomorrow. All right. Where are we? The vocals should be at 0 dB. All of them. Zero dB. So please, tomorrow you can change the name. All right. We will do that together so that I know the backups you have, and you could decide to use backup vocals 1, backup vocals 2, backup vocals 3, whatever you want to do. Just you're free to play around it, but this is the template and you're happy. Now for the broadcast, is a bit too loud. It's going to distort. It's a bit too loud. So let's leave it about 1 dB. 1 dB higher, yes. All right. So this is where we are. Everything is set. Remember our routing for our output is 1 and 2. Matrix 1 is bus 1 is the output 1 and 2 for the stereo monitor. Bus 5 is for our matrix 3, which is our sub. Output 6 is our matrix 2, which is the overflow, and output 7 and 8 is our FOH matrix. All right, and then our broadcast is already on the matrix and it's labeled. So as it is, let's go and now set the parameters for the broadcast. We have done that for the main, and what we'll do in the main is because you're using active speakers, I'm going to leave this EQ till we pink noise tomorrow. All right, but what I'll do is just to do a little bit of high shelf and leave the EQ, leave the compressor as it is. And what next? Our main 2, which is our vocal main, we are going to do, or rather, this is our band. This is our band. Our vocal main, sorry, let's go back to main 1, which is our vocals. We don't, vocals, you don't do, you have to cut off your low. So we do a low cut of up to 160 hertz. Okay, then we'll watch it tomorrow, and we'll just clean up our vocals a bit in the 600 area. All right, and then in the 1K to keep it clean and tidy. All right, the reason for the high shelf, all right, reduction, so that it minimizes the shimmer. I don't know your hall, but we'll work with it. Once you listen to the general vocals, you're able to add whether you should add or reduce a little more. Okay, so that's it for the vocals. For the band, we are leaving the band. Just I will change the EQ for the band to this, so that our band has something robust. Let's add a bit of a gain on our 16 kilohertz, and then a bit of dip in our mid frequency area. All right, yeah, and leave the low as it is. So we have our and then let's increase our ratio for the band bus. Let's increase it so that there's a bit more compression on the band bus, on the band main. All right, keep the drums and everything together. So main 3, which is our sub, is left open because the matrix is already processed, and main 4, which is pastor line, we'll just do a low cut again, or a low shelf for the 8. Sorry, I said high. Low band for the 8, and just cut pastor mic up to 100 hertz. Okay, enable and leave it like that. Tomorrow you'll be able to tweak a little bit here, a little bit there, but just leave it as it is. Do the tweaking from the channel itself. Okay, yeah, from the channel itself, to help you have a better result. Okay, so we will just yeah, so tomorrow we'll be able to test it. I hope you have the mic tomorrow. All right, so this is where we are. We are good so far with all our matrices. Let's go to our broadcast matrix now. Broadcast is empty. All right, so what we'll do is to set a, let's look at the broadcasts. Okay, so what we'll do first is to set a limiter. All right, limiter for this is here. Put it on and keep it moderate. Okay, keep it moderate and let it limit a little bit. Now watch the limiter tomorrow. This meter, if it comes between this 0 and 1, it should not exceed 1. You're good. So if it's exceeding 1, you can now bring it back. But if it's not, just keep pushing it till it doesn't stay on 1. It comes between this dot in the center and 1, -1. Gain reduction. That's all you need. Okay, so after that we will add our stereo enhancer, and then let's come with our stereo enhancer here. The stereo enhancer helps give your broadcast mix an added width, all right? An added width, an added width. So let's do our stereo image spread and our mono spread for those things in the center. Stereo spread is 36, mono spread is 37, and then our gain for our frequency, let's say we'll come 14. Mid, we don't want mid. Let's leave the mid as 20, and we're good as it is. So that's for your stereo enhancer, okay? Then we'll come to the EQ. Now, this EQ will be dependent. I will tell you tomorrow. I'll drop it here, and I'll tell you what to do tomorrow morning. Just leave it and leave it like this. You want your broadcast to have enough depth, punch, and width. Just leave it as it is. You might brighten your broadcast up a bit, or you might do a bit of cut, but just leave it as it is, and we'll come back to it, okay? Yeah. What have I done now? What have I done now? What have I done? So let me, we are almost home. Now, the last thing on this channel is our limiter. So we're going to assign a limiter. Now, what this does, it gives you balance control on the energy going into the broadcast, all right? So everything passes through the limiter before it gets to your video source. So we'll leave the limiter at this level and bring it up. Now, we're going to check this again tomorrow. I'll just set the parameters, and then we'll check it tomorrow. Is that okay? Now, our limiter is set. Our metrics channel is set. And then I think we have the weight we're looking for now. Now, one more thing. You know that your broadcast line needs to feed from something. So we're going to route this metrics now to the USB. All right? So we come here, change this from 48 to 48. Stereo, we change our USB to stereo. And then we come to our routing page. Output, okay? Output. Now, because we are using broadcast, okay? Sorry for that. We are using metrics for broadcast. The first thing you do, you change this from AES to USB. And then you select 1 and 2. 1 for broadcast left, 2 for broadcast right. So what this means is that your metrics 4, which is your broadcast metrics, will send signal into your USB that goes into the laptop or PC that supplies your broadcast. That's the story for your broadcast. So here we are, our inputs. Our inputs are there. You set your levels, all right? Your levels are okay. Now we have our levels. Let's check them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 vocals. All of them is on mean 1, and they are good to go. All right. So let's change this to this tube leveler, and we will listen to it tomorrow. But you should have a fantastic and sweet mix on your vocals. So depending on your mics, now everything here is set. Okay, you're using Apple. Yes, the console. Once you have the console, the Apple recognize the console. You can see signal or get signal from the console. It doesn't matter. All right. It doesn't matter. Once you sense it through your metrics 4, the signal is going to go straight to that USB that is plugged into the Apple software you are using for broadcast. You'll see the signal. Once the Apple MacBook or Apple recognize the mixer, you're good to go. All right. So that's it. I've answered that question. So as it is right now, let's start again. Let's check the inputs. We have our inputs. Now let's check the levels for our inputs. It's very important. All our input levels is very important. And then sending our input, the signal to the monitors. All right, so we have a stereo bus now. Okay, let's send signal all the drums to the monitors. We have it here now. We have sent to the monitors already, but I'll need you. Okay, this is what, bus 1. Okay, this is bus 1. So bus 1, the kick, you have to listen, all right, tomorrow when you're sound checking. And then all you need to do, come to the channel here, send on faders. You remember that send on fader flip, and increase the drum accordingly. But please be mindful, the drum cannot be so loud on the monitors because they are active. The instruments cannot be so loud, though this snare is pretty loud. On the choir monitor, on the vocal monitors, the high tom is okay, the mid and low tom, all right. So we don't need this bus 3, we don't need all this, all right. So let's have everything down, all right. So everything is down. So as it is right now, we are just sending to bus 1 and the band bus. You know your focus is the monitors, the 2 monitors. Ooh, bass guitar doesn't need to come here. You just, bass guitar could be low, very low, yeah, on the vocal monitors. And then lead guitar too could be a bit low. But keyboard needs to have a presence, not drowning them. That's why I'm mindful of what I'm setting for them. Okay, all these ones should be off, down, down, down. Now, this your vocal monitors that we are setting, all right, and we're ensuring that they have a fantastic monitor mix, all right. So the keyboard, then the vocals, yes, they are up, they could come on too. Keep it down. Now there's a catch to it on the monitors, and we're going to just set that up immediately before we run out. That will be the last thing we'll do. I want to show you the one fantastic feature that your mixer have. That gives you so much flexibility. A fantastic features in the monitor area that the mixer has. All right, let's just kill it all down. All right, the reason why I'm doing this is so that we can have, so all your vocals could be at -1. All right, all of them. So tomorrow morning, as you send them, they listen, you can balance out the level. All right, I'm just trying to remove these subgroups from here. All right, if you choose to use instrument monitor based on what the instrumentalists want, you can drop the levels accordingly. All right, but let me just make sure that everything is intact. Good. So lead voice is 0.5 minus 0.5. Now that's that. Everything here is set for your service tomorrow. For your service tomorrow, everything is set. We're just going to add a bit of the effects, okay? We're going to add a bit of the effects, and then we can now know what we are doing. -1, you know, -4, 3. So you can adjust the monitors accordingly. Now, what I want to share with you is we have not done our aux return for our effects. We have not even done our effects channel. So let's go to the effect. To set the effect, you come to the bus section, select your buses first. So we are going to use bus 13 to 16 for our bus. All right, for our effects. All right, we're going to use that for our effects. Okay, how do you assign effects to a bus? It's as simple as ABC. You come to the bus, select the bus 16, home. By default, there will be nothing, the bus is not assigned to any mean. So by default, you come to the home page. Just below the home page, all right, you see channel trim balance bus mode. Under bus mode, you see tap point, post, and subgroup. Select sub post for your bus. So we are doing post for the next bus because we are using 4 buses for effects. Post for the 4 of them. Now, after doing that, you then insert, pre-insert. Insert 1 is pre-insert. You insert the effect you want on the buses. So let's determine, let's say bus 13 now is already in post mode. We come to the pre-insert. Because why are we doing pre-insert? Because we are going to send to bus aux return. Because we want to send a bit of effect on our monitors, all right? If the guys have in-ears, they can have that as well. So what you do is you select this, come up here, after inserting, put it on, select it on. You see FX processor, it says none. Click on the arrow forward and select your first effect from this bus. Tap into the space, come to the right and pick the effect type. So tomorrow, let's say you're using hall reverb, all right? We're going to just leave it as it is, all right, and reduce the, remove the spread a bit, but increase our shape, okay? And then our high cut, bring it down a bit, all right? That's for the effect. Now, we could just set the name on it. The name has come, all right? And you could decide to give your effect a color. All the effect could carry purple, all right? All the effects could carry purple. The next one, we have already selected post, pre-insert, on, FX processor. You come to the next and select the FX type, which will be our VSS. VSS is a fantastic reverb. You can use that. Let's select, I don't know your room type, so please remind me, sir, for tomorrow on the effect so that we can select the room type, name and icon. Let's select it and let's go to the color again. Change the color to lilac purple. Yeah, purple. All right, you see FX, VSS. The third one we will do, let's remove this. The third effect, let's go to what? Now, what should we add? You can decide what you should add. For drums, we can use drum vintage reverb or vintage room reverb, all right? So let's go vintage verb for the drums and put it on and select that. Change the color and we're good. The next is delay. I don't know whether you might want delay, but hello, we can be creative. Delay. Let's select our delay, put it on, go and select the effect that you want, and then let's look for stereo delay, or, and let me not make it complex, stereo delay is okay. It's okay. It's okay. So let's cut our high for the delays. You don't want highs, you don't want lows, you don't want the delay misbehaving. So you have a tap point on the console at the bottom right corner of the screen. Once the delay page is active, you can just tap it to the timing of the music to fit it in. Now our delays and our effect is up. Give it a name. One more thing we need to do, because it has not been assigned to the house, let's come to aux return. All right, that is from 35 to 40. After that, you have 8 channels. So we'll say 5, we have to route aux return. So you come to your routing page, inputs, all right, and you'll see here the bottom part of your mixer section, you will see the A5, A34, and all that. So we are selecting A5. Your source group is coming from bus because you send the effect, you inserted the effect on the bus. So you need to receive the effect from the bus and then return it to the aux return. So bus 1 will be hall reverb, bus 2 will be VSS, verse 3 will be vintage verb, and then verse 4 will be delay. So everything here should come based, well, I'll leave it at 0 dB, everything. Now, if you want to send an effect to the monitor, this is where you will send that effect from. You can either select the home page, select the hall, come to your bus 1, and increase it here, or you use your send-on fader and then increase the aux return in the monitors. Just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit of it, a little bit of hall reverb. Now, the reverb in terms of the monitors will only be active when you have inserted it or you have used effect for the vocals or for those signals that you have assigned an effect to. I take it again. These effects will only, you will feel the effect of the effect on your wedges if you have assigned them to a signal. Example, if you are assigned effect to the vocals, you're going to hear a little bit of the effect on your monitors. That's why I'm making it very little so that it doesn't cloud your monitors. All right. And what else? Let's see. Let's bring hall a bit so that you feel the energy. Now, the work is not done. What we need to do now is to come to our instruments. Let's add a bit of hall. Oh, the hall is too much. The hall is too much. Let's remove this. The hall for the snare is okay. You could decide to, you can listen. Now let's add a bit more of hall on our, or vintage on our toms. Vintage on our toms. If it's too much, all you need to do is just send on fader and bring it down. The bass doesn't need the guitar. If it doesn't have an effect, you can add a little bit of verb, all right, and very little, very, very tiny effects, so it's not noticeable. Sometimes I add a bit of effect on my keyboard, all right, for the spread. Now for vocals, you could do VSS, all right, and a little bit of hall, VSS, and a little bit of hall, all right. Now I'm just going to set these levels. You need to correct them based on what you're hearing. All right, so tomorrow morning, please take note. We are going to deal with these effects level so they don't become too noticeable in the sound and they don't make the sound too light or too muffled or too hollow. All right, so we're just adding that. Now the lead will carry the stereo delay and the VSS verb. All right, a little bit of the stereo delay. Now please note, if you are using the stereo tomorrow, you can come to your bus 16, all right, and bring down the delay till you are ready to use it. Use it only when you need to. All right, please take note. Use it only when you need to. All right, that's it. Use it only when you need to. Remember that these effects are assigned to a DCA, right? So if you don't want much effect, you can just bring the DCA down. And all the effects, you can see the effects are on. Okay, we've not assigned it, so we'll come to aux return. Aux return, we assign all the effects to all the effects return. Aux return to the DC. So once we push it up, it come up and go down, and we are good. So as it is right now, you have your effect, you have pastor mix, you have the choir, the lead singer, you have the vocals, you have keyboards, you have drum, keyboard and guitar, drums, then you have kick, snare, and bass. So let me put an icon here. Let me put toms. I'll put the drums, keys and guitars. I'll put the keyboard and vocals. I'll put choir, lead singer. I don't know who your lead singer is, the lady, I'll put then our pastor. We all know pastor is daddy, so we'll put pastor as a man. So that's basically it. You have your whole mix set up. Let's go through it again. Our input sections. Now our gain. All right. I said we're going to deal with our input gain. Let's look at our input gain and see. Now it's at 0 dB. It will be too low. So let's add our preamp gain, say 3. No, 5 for the drums. All right, snare 5. High tom 5. Mid tom 5. Low tom 5. Bass 5. Now you're going to adjust the gain based on what you're hearing. All right, lead guitar 5. Keyboard 6. I don't know about your keyboard player, Sean, but our singles will be 8 because the small hall and you have enough headroom already. 8. That's 8 dB. 8. Now 8 may be too loud, so we are just being, so you can bring it down, your input gain. Once you get your input gain right, your preamp gain, you are happy, okay? You are good to go, okay? So I'm just giving you a standard mix. Our lead singer, being that is our lead, we'll take it at 10, and pastor will be at 10. So as it is now, we are good to go, go. All right. I think we should bring pastor down a bit on the broadcast. 4. All right. So as it is right now, we are happy and we are good. So the faders connection tomorrow, we'll be able to know and work around what we need to do to get a good mix. Meanwhile, I'm going to route the pastor line and the lead singer line also to the local in on the console here. All right, so let me route it. Pastor, local in, lead, local in. All right, so these two mics, in case you're not using the stage box, you can use this as local in. So we come here and select our local in, and we decide to label it pastor mic and lead vox. Okay, and we give it our color and our icon. So lead vox, our sister, pastor, daddy, and then the color yellow, and the color whatever it is, I don't know. So we are almost home. I think we're good. So you can always, plug the receiver close to you, pastor line and the lead singer line, and you're good. You can plug it here. You can plug it on the stage box, input 16 and 15, and it'll still come out. Now, another thing there is, in case you want to play back through a device, through a jack, all right? Let me route. We'll go to the routing page, input, local in, will add aux in now. Aux in will be a jack. Sorry. This is... Sorry, let me see. I hope I'm not caused... Okay, no, I haven't. I've been a good boy. Okay, so I'll select the channel that I want my playback line to come from. Probably I can just put it... I can just put it at 17. Okay. 17 will be playback. Okay. And so we could use stereo channel. So if you have 2 jacks for playback, but let's leave it at mono so that it comes in. So this channel now is your playback. Aux in is your playback. Playback audio. All right. So that's what it is. Your playback audio. So you can get aux jacks, and then you just flow with it. Okay. So we are good to go, and you're happy. Okay. So far so good. We have EQs. Sorry, I turned the keyboard. It was the keyboard I changed to playback keys. Okay, so now coming to keys, the icon too. I think I mistakenly left it on the keyboard, but let's quickly correct it before we run up. All right, so there's our keyboard. Our keyboard is a sign here, a little bit of effect on it. Now let's come to 17. 17 is where we're supposed to change to our playback line. So 17 is our playback. (17) is our playback, and we come to the input, playback, keyboard. Why is it linking? Okay. Keys. Okay. So we don't need to play back from the stage box. So we have pastor and the lead come back to stage box and stage box. So if you decide to move it to local in, please let me know tomorrow morning, then we'll know what to do. Is that okay? Aux in, we have, I keep getting, I think something is linked together, so I need to check it. All right. Our keyboard is, let me see. Okay, I don't know. I need to figure out. Let me check my stage box. AES, BC, USB, local in, local out. So why is it coming? Okay, so now it's correct. Playback is 18, and the icon is playback. Sorry, I needed to correct that. I just observed that it was replicating, and we don't want that to happen to tomorrow. So our keyboard is different now from our playback. Okay, so 18 is our playback line, and if we check our routing for our playback, it's here, local in 1. Okay, please take note to that. We can do a stereo or a mono depending on what you want. So I think so far so good. We are good. Everything is set. Now remember, our main bus is here, main left and right. Sorry, let's come to our main. Why is it not showing the main? Main 1, vocals, yeah. Main 2, instrument. Main 3, bass, subwoofer, and main 4, pastor. Alright, so remember, our matrices are the ones controlling the house speaker, the overflow speaker, and the broadcast source. Okay, So these are matrices, all right? So DCAs control, this is your central working area, all right? The DCA. Remember, we've sent aux return. The effects are going to aux return, and we didn't send them to the, okay, they are on the bus, they are on the, they are not on the band. So we need to bring them a little bit here, a little bit here, because some of the band instruments have effects. Yeah, so you don't need reverb for the band, all right? So everything that is going through here will go to your broadcast. All right, so this is it right now. I left the volume down so that you can move it accordingly. All right, okay, the volume is up. I was just slowly on it. So one more thing we'll do, I think it's okay for now. Let's save it. We'll save it as Solution Chapel UK. Solutions. All right, and then we'll put it on my system. Let me do breathing and save it here. Then I'll send it to you. Okay, let me send it to the Great Audio, and where did I save it again? Solution Chapel New Mix. And then I'll forward it to you. So please confirm once you get it. Okay. I just got a message now. I'm just looking at your mail. Please do not channel number on wing. It is not clear. I don't understand your last message. Can you rephrase it, please? This one. Could you help me rephrase the last question? So this is the mix for tomorrow that I'm sending to you. Please help me rephrase the last question so that I can wrap up, answer it, and then we wrap up. So that's the mix for tomorrow. Pastor, you're welcome. I hope if there are any questions so that I can address the questions and then move to close the section for today. My phone number is +234 805 355 1699. That's also my WhatsApp number, so you can send it to my WhatsApp and I will quickly respond. So I will just give it a minute or two to wait for messages. Which one of the line are you talking about? You said the line on the wing is not good. Which one of the lines are you talking about, please? Mr. Yigu, which one of the lines are you talking about the aux? Are you talking about these lines, the aux? Okay, I'm seeing the picture here. All right. So you're using. Okay, whatever you're trying to communicate, I still don't get it. But tomorrow, when we do the morning setup, I think we'll address it immediately. It will just be a 1 minute solution. All right. Um, I would like to see from the screen what that channel is saying before I can say whether it's bad or not. So, to answer your question or to attend to that, once you're setting up tomorrow and we get to that point, let me know and we'll address it immediately. Is that okay? If it's okay, please give me a thumbs up so that we move to the next thing. Any other question? My WhatsApp number is +234 805 355 1699. Send the question or send it to through Mr. Yugi, and yeah, I didn't do something again. One more thing, my effects. It's always safe to EQ your effect. I'm going to do a low cut and a high cut on the effect channel. On the delay, yeah, you need to cut off that and do a cut on my 1K, narrow the cut. All right. For the other effects, we will know what to do tomorrow once we hear them. We're not going to use any effects for EQ for now. So thank you. Is there, in the absence of anything, I'll just wait another minute or two. Okay, all these lines you're saying is not good, right? Okay. Tomorrow when we see, we will deal with it. Is that okay? Once we see, I need to check some things in your routing. Once we see, we will address it. But now, good. I can see your stage box here is connected to AES A port. That's fantastic. AES A port. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Good. And I see that you have a stereo jack port. Okay, there's something on 8. 8 is bad, you say. Okay, no problems. But I didn't assign it to 8. I assigned it to 1, I think 1. Aux in, yeah, 1. All right. Playback 1. Aux in 1. Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. Oh, I think my hand must have touched the wrong thing and it went to the wrong place. Okay, aux in 1, playback. So I think so far so good. If you're happy with every other thing, could you just give me a thumbs up and then I'll wrap it up. This is where I call it a day. I hope you understood it. The video will be here on YouTube, so you can always revisit it step by step. And I've already sent your mix, the mix to my contact, Mr. Yugi. So please let me know. Let's know where we are right now. connected together on the stage box. But meanwhile, once you get to the console tomorrow, all right, and you load this scene, please copy the old scene to your flash drive before you load this new scene. All right? Then you will send me the old scene through WhatsApp. I want to take a look at the problem that is going on there. But once we get there, call me, let me look at it. It might be a gate on that channel. Yes, it might be a gate that is causing that channel to mute. All right, sir. So I think, yeah? Okay, so this is where I will call it a day for tonight. And if you have any questions from your team, please send it to me by WhatsApp. I'll make sure I stay up a bit and respond before I sleep. You're welcome. Yes, yes, yes. All right, thank you. Have a lovely night. And my regards to Pastor. All right. Bye bye. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you everyone. I'll call it a day here. Have a pleasant night. God be with you. God bless you. One love.